Okay, at this time, we're going to have reports from the department officers, and we're going to start with Commander Walkowski.
As you all know, I've been doing these kind of reports for quite some time. Been a privilege to serve the membership of the DAV Department of Wisconsin. This is my 13th year on the executive committee, so I'm one of those stalwarts that have been around and turning around in the barrel for a while. This is the final tumble dry, and like Rodney, I'll be moving on to become a past department commander and an advisor, what they refer to as dinosaur role. So I'll be happy to join my esteemed colleagues, all past department commanders, and retire. That'd be nice. That being the case, state commanders come and go, don't they? Quicker than the bathing habits of some members. I'm just kidding. That's very unfortunate. I was asked. Now let me tell you, I'm long pretty tight, similar to Casey, and when I'm in the zone, it's all business most of the time. And I was asked, why don't you change your style and put a little bit of comedy up there? So that was my one bit of comedy that you find me engaging in. There's a little kernel of truth to that, though. So, after a mere 1 year in office, to the trash heap and replaced by a new model, known in the manufacturing industry as planned obsolescence. In one's position of service as the elected state commander, an individual has but 1 year, a mere 365 days, to make a difference. A difference made in the hopes that the footprints left while walking down this path with so many others following in tow will be somewhat lasting before the winds of change cover up those footprints. A senior leader must be ever mindful that the decisions one makes affects the lives of so many individuals. It could be for good or ill based on one's judgment or lack thereof. In assessing the reality of change occurring, regardless of my readiness or adaptability to compensate for that sure and certain change, I came to the conclusion that all one can possibly hope for is that his successor will build upon the foundations laid down prior to those winds of change sweeping me away. As many of you well know, the burden of command is often heavy. Initiating a policy of change is oftentimes unpopular, as it can be overly burdensome on some, as well as extremely stressful on most. The leader initiating changes to an institution, such as the DAV Department of Wisconsin, is not immune, as I'm no different than most of you in my normal human response to conditions of change. I, like most of you, embrace constancy, normalcy, remaining in my comfort zone. The point that I'm trying to make is that change is never easy, while it is inevitable. The DAV Department of Wisconsin's business model of the bygone days of the not-too-distant past being formally comprised and functioning in a fashion primarily as that of a fraternal body with generally laxly managed volunteer programs and employment policies of the mid to late 20th century has been replaced in the run-up to the millennium and in this 21st century by a business model consistent with that of being a multifaceted, non-profited veterans service organization, but still a business, a corporation. DAV Wisconsin's transition, or rather change, has been an ongoing process for quite some time. The changes I've seen happen in increments over my 13 years of functioning on the department level have been immense. Reality presents us with the fact that it is essential for the DAV Department of Wisconsin to keep changing, or rather evolving, in order to accommodate current day generational thought processes and societal norms, as well as to adjust to current day socioeconomic and political conditions in order to retain, or in some cases, regain its relevancy. The fact that there are a mere 7 paid employees of this corporation, referred to as DAV Department of Wisconsin, could be quite deceiving if one didn't take into account the fact that this corporation consists of a chief executive officer, the department commander, a chief operating officer, the department adjutant, and a chief financial officer, the department treasurer, in addition to consisting of a 12-member board of directors, referred to as the executive committee. Add to that mix hundreds of unpaid employees making up our state cadre of DAV volunteers, and you now may know possibly and come to a new understanding of the challenges one faces as being the CEO, the commanding officer, if you would, of this corporation. Additionally, the department commander and treasurer, as fiduciaries, have a higher level of responsibility and accountability than any other member of the executive committee. So to ensure that the financial propriety of the corporation is maintained and to comply with state and federal tax laws, compliance agency regulations, and in the performance of audits. Again, the DAV is today more than merely a fraternal veteran service organization. It's a corporation comprised of individuals from all walks of life with different cultural and religious backgrounds, having different types of life learning and work experience. Some of these individuals serving in the corporation have had careers as general laborers, some as business people, some as computer technicians or system engineers, otherwise known as techies or computer geeks. Man, account for that, there are a lot of technical people, and they have expertise that many of us don't have. Now, we've all got to participate in coming up to age in a technological age. The days of pen and paper are gone. Further, DAV is a corporation comprised of individuals providing a wide variety of educational levels, some with college associate degrees, bachelor's, or even master's degrees, most with high school diplomas, some possessing GEDs. Even amongst us are some that never finished high school. School not being their thing, instead, at a very young age, them electing to enter the military in service to our country. It does not devalue anybody in any way to have more or less of an educational level than other. Everyone has something to give. An organization comprised of such a diverse makeup of cultural, experiential, and learning levels can make working together sometimes, and sometimes even communicating with one another, a bit unwieldy and not so cohesive. Still, somehow the process moves forward, and in the end it all comes together and works. Not without conflict or struggle, mind you, but still the organization, mostly through collectivism amongst elected officers, appointed staff and officers, members, auxiliary members, as well as others serving the DAV as volunteers, is the organization somehow able to overcome adversity toward normally function at both a high level of proficiency and efficiency in delivering our business model's end product, and that end product is service. How this is accomplished is a direct result of our common bond as members of the DAV and auxiliary. That commonality amongst DAV members is also the result of we all sharing common experiences as former members of this country's military. And in the case of auxiliary members, having an understanding of the military experience through close contact with veteran family members, relatives, neighbors, or friends. Those are the two most significant elements that bond the DAV and auxiliary members to each other and to the veteran community we serve. It's a brotherhood that some of the individuals outside our circle either can't understand or don't want to attempt to understand. It's that exact brotherhood that gets us through rough waters, resolving communication problems, healing hurt feelings, and breaking through barriers and impasses. I could have used this forum to talk about, through the years, attending this and that, traveling here and there, rubbing elbows with this notable person and that distinguished person, but I instead elected to inform the body as to what this service organization's purpose is, who it's comprised of, how it gets the job done, and where it's headed. The brotherhood that bonds all of us together in addressing the challenges of operating a nonprofit corporation, veteran service organization in the 21st century is the key factor toward DAV Department of Wisconsin's ability to improve the services that DAV and Auxiliary provides to those that count on us for assistance towards improving the lives of veterans, their families, and their survivors. Change, or rather evolution, is a key element involved toward an organization meeting those challenges. While change for the sake of change is never healthy and equally not a wise business decision, in the case of the election of a new state commander, change provides the opportunity to bring new methodology as well as fresh and bold new ideas to the forefront toward improving on DAV's Wisconsin's business model. I don't know if I want to now rehash the mostly repetitive ideas of Department Commander Kevin Walkowski, churning them around in the ideas barrel over and over again ad infinitum. I equally wouldn't relish having to at some point admit to the body that the Kevin Walkowski idea and churning machine is now somewhat depleted, devoid of fresh new output. In this case, particularly in the case of electing a new department commander, change is good. Senior Vice Commander John Polk is the individual that can take the current momentum a notch forward as DAV Wisconsin's next department commander. John succeeded me both as 1st District Commander and in the line, and has been trained up on all issues crucial to election to the highest office of the state organization to the best of my ability. He possesses the quality of character and equally projects the strong, effective leadership traits that are a necessity of command. John truly was my right hand during my turn in the barrel. As Chief of Staff, past Department Clarence Stoll, being my awkward left hand. Thank you, Clarence. You were there to help me all the way along, and I appreciate that so much. Thank you both for all of the superior ongoing guidance and support you provided me. I'd like to thank all the elected department officers as well as the department appointed staff officers, committee chairmen, and community members for sharing your time, talents, and in many cases your treasures, exemplified in your willingness to serve. I especially want to thank the DAV Wisconsin headquarters office managers, Shelby Siegel and Deirdre Flynn, for the extreme dedication and high level of service that they provide daily to keep business operations functioning properly. I'd like to thank Department Treasurer, Transportation Manager, Northern Region, and Green Bay VA Clinic Hospital Service Coordinator, past National Commander Dick Marbs, for his continued guidance and assistance, providing additional on-location oversight of department headquarters operations and support staff. I'd like to thank Convention Co-Chairman, DAV Wisconsin, past Department Commander and Acting Adjutant Adjutant Casey Johnson, and Auxiliary past State Commander Patty Davis. My auxiliary counterpart, DAV Auxiliary State Commander Kerry Willems, and DAV Auxiliary past State Commander and National Headquarters Auxiliary Public Relations Specialist, and overall Gold Team gal Ann Linden, as well as wishing again to thank headquarters staffers Shelby Siegel and Deirdre Flynn for all the spectacular support providing me toward production of the convention, as well as putting up on events of this convention in the fall conference. It truly makes, it takes a man with effort. Casey, you some more. My thanks to Department Judge Advocate, Deputy Treasurer, and prospective incoming Department Junior Vice Commander Matt Bills for his dedication to the mission exhibited by communicating with me often toward acting as an effective sounding board on administrative policy and procedures, as well as in providing Constitution and bylaws guidance, and especially for exemplifying fraternity and willingness to learn, exemplified by his voluntary attendance at the DAV National Convention and Midwinter Conference, as well as in attending statewide department events at his cost. Matt's inquisitive and analytical nature, while sometimes an annoyance, has many times helped me to see issues in a different light through his insightfulness. Keep heading in that direction, Matt. You're taking the time to bounce ideas back and forth, sometimes peel me off the ceiling, and calm me down was much appreciated, Matt. A special thank goes out to 12th National Executive Committeeman, DAV Wisconsin Past Department Commander Rodney Helgeson, as well as 12th National Executive Committeeman on the auxiliary side, Past State Commander Rose Williams, for the exceptional level of support and guidance provided to me on occasions many times throughout the past year. A very special thanks goes out to DAV Wisconsin Legislation Director Al LaBelle, who is deserving of additional mention, serving as National Interim Legislative Committee Chairman, for the outstanding and extraordinary effort in providing ongoing issues briefings, as well as preparing talking points and position paper support to me throughout the year, all to ensure that DAV would be well supported and I'd be well prepared in discussing legislative issues with state and federal government officials, and further ensuring that DAV gets noticed and that our legislative agenda and resolutions through those talking points and position papers are both well received and clearly understands as meetings on these topics of importance take place. The truth is that Al has a bit of an addiction problem. He's a legislative and agency veterans and issues junkie. Some would call his frequent camping out at the coffee shop across from the Capitol bordering on stalking. The bottom line is that DAV has both a presence and a voice not only on Capitol Hill in Washington, D.C., but on Washington Avenue in Madison, Wisconsin, and that our collective cries for legislators and agency officials to keep the promise are being heard. Thank you all for all the great support in advance for the ongoing support that I know you'll be providing me as I continue in service by engaging in dialogue on pressing legislative and agency issues with Speaker of the House Paul Ryan and fellow members of the 1st Congressional District Veterans Advisory Board. As most of you are aware, there is a transition process that has been initiated in respect to the Department Adjutant position. I want to thank former Department Adjutant, past Department Commander Ken Keenel for all of the support he provided to me throughout the bulk of my term of office, for his ongoing participation in the transition process, for laying much of the groundwork for the production of this event, and especially for the 11 years of service he has provided the state organization as the appointed Department Adjutant. Let's all give a round of applause and appreciation for Ken's service. I also want to offer my thanks to Acting Department Adjutant and past Department Commander Casey Johnson for so capably assisting in the transition process and for overseeing the final details involving the planning, logistics, and other matters of importance crucial to the successful production of this convention. And finally, I want to give my thanks to Department Deputy Legislative Director and presumptive incoming Department Adjutant Larry Hill for all of the ongoing support that he willingly provided during this transition. Thank you, Larry. I wish presumptive incoming Department Adjutant Larry Hill and presumptive incoming Department Commander John Polk, incoming appointed staff, as well as all of the incoming elected officers and the membership in general of the DAV Department of Wisconsin and its auxiliary, much success during their terms of office for 2016-2017, and firmly stand behind John, at the ready and in service to him, as well as the other members of his team, as he assumes the high office of Commander and Chief Executive of the DAV Department of Wisconsin. Thank you for allowing me the opportunity to serve this past year as your state commander. I'll cherish the memories shared with some of you as I walk the mile in these shoes. and will relish this past labor of love as being both personally fulfilling and professionally rewarding. This is the best job I never drew pay for, truly. The position consists of 100% volunteering, so you should know that you get a good bang for your buck out of DAV appointed elected officers. I want to again emphasize that not one of us, myself included, is more important than the mission. I hope that the mark left as a result of my 1 year at the helm toward fulfilling the mission of DAV Wisconsin will ultimately be considered to have been a benefit to this state organization in transition, experience all of the growing pains normally resulting from engaging in changes in policy and practices towards promoting growth. My hope beyond hope is that, as a result of this growth, a new cadre of veterans, including my soon-to-be 28-year-old U.S. Army veteran son, John, will find the DAV to be relevant, will find active membership in the organization attractive, and will become immersed in DAV's programs and leadership positions towards someday taking the organization even further still. I now look forward to the fast approaching, inevitable winds of change resulting in my continuing to be in service, along with my contemporaries, as past department commander, a mentor, a senior advisor, a trustee if you would. I'd like to give my extreme thanks to my wife of 32 years, Gail, and 4 sons, John, Bob, Matt, and Ryan, for adapting to and tolerating my often absence from their daily lives, as well as my absence from participating in many family events as a result of planned official travel or as the outcome of the ever-present but seldom anticipated emergent administratives requiring no delay in attending to. I especially wish to thank all of you, the membership, for what each one of you personally do to support the mission of the DAV and the auxiliary, through your practice of volunteerism and advocacy, and for your dedication, devotion, and willingness to serve your fellow veterans toward fulfillment of the DAV's mission statement. Fulfilling our promises to the men and women who served. I assure you that you are the members of the best service organization known to man, the DAV. I want to impart with you this thought. Don't allow anyone to thoughtlessly, or rather stupidly, define you by your disability. You, as a disabled American veteran, may have impairments that impede your ability to engage in gainful employment, perform home or auto repairs, or even do simple yard work. You may have impairments that prevent you from engaging in sporting or social activities that you would otherwise have engaged in and enjoyed before the manifestation of increase in the severity of your disabling condition, or, as in the result of most of us, disabling conditions plural. You have a basic right to self-actualization and to lead a purposeful life, despite your impairments. Your life has purpose and value. I encourage you all to push through the annoying distractions caused by your disabling conditions to improvise, adapt, and overcome, just like I do every day. Am I nervous up here? Yes. Do I stumble? Yes. No different than anybody else. If I can do this, and I can be a part of the mission of the DAV, so can you. So I'm trying to encourage younger membership, time to bridge the gap. As DAV chapter members, it is you that are the backbone of the organization, the core, the cadre, the lifeblood surging through the arteries of the DAV. In closing, a few quotes from the infamous Vince Lombardi. Winners never quit, and quitters never win. It's not whether you get knocked down, it's whether you get back up again. And finally, the measure of who we are is what we do with what we have. Thank you.